Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is the Liverpool preview, and joining me, as always, almost, is my good friend and colleague, Alex Baggers. Baggers, how are we doing, brother?
I'm good. Better than I was last week, that's all I can say.
You've not been a well soldier. I've been a bit poorly sick as Alex
Problems
Baggers.
with the teeth.
Hey, yes.
But all recovered. It's a big game this weekend as well.
Do you know
a
what?
Massive game. It's just been overshadowed by everything.
This is like the biggest game of the season, usually, the Scousers.
Yeah.
And yet it feels like, we've got them, haven't we?
Yeah.
Because we've got the protest. We know we've got the protest on Sunday before the game. We've had all the drama that's been going on with the European Super League, but it's like, there's also a game going on as well. Yeah. So has that affected you in terms of how you're feeling, nerves, etc.?
A little bit. I think as well, the fact that the league position, it's almost like, we're not looking over our shoulder at top four anymore. After the results we've had, I think we've kind of ship sailed on trying to catch Manchester City now. So it's a case of
defeatist attitude. Hey, you think we can't make up 10 points, whatever it is, in 4 games?
A little bit.
Hey,
I just don't think it's going to happen.
Defeatist or realist?
Yeah. And I just think that the one thing that I think would be good this weekend is let's beat them and make sure they don't get Champions League football for next season, because that would be fantastic. For as much as we can't catch, because everyone's saying, it's not as important for us. We're not going to be able to win the league. We're not going to be able to. We're going to get top 4, so it doesn't really matter. Let's guarantee they don't get top 4. That would be brilliant. And make sure that they don't win City the league, because I think people are overlooking that if City win on Saturday and we lose to the Scousers, that's it, done, finished.
Yeah. That's that,
and we can't have that. I can't have them winning the league.
The only saving grace would be like there's no fans there. It wouldn't be at Old Trafford to see the Scousers rubbing our face, but it'd still be horrible. You're still never at the end of it. Talking about feeling confident, look at that form there. Our last 5 games, the emphatic win over Roma, the most boring game in the history of the universe at Ellen Road, and 3 solid results as well. So we're in a good bit of form, looking good.
Yeah, playing well. Pretty solid overall. I think we've had obviously conceded the goal against Burnley and the little bit of a wobble in the first half against Roma, but apart from that, we've looked pretty solid. We played some really good football against Roma the other night. Really good football, even from the start, even in the first half. It was some good stuff. The second half, we were absolutely quality, and I think that we are in a bit of good form. And I think that we had that bit of a lull. We had a few injuries. Cavani was injured. We had Pogba was out. Fernandes kind of took a bit, didn't look fit. Mason's kind of stepped up a bit of form. Everyone's kind of stepping up to a bit of form. We've got that starting 11. The back 4 is, that's set. It's been such a long time since we've gone, that's the back 4, and everyone's relatively happy with it.
Yeah.
We've had set back 4s in the past few years, but we've got Blind and Chris Smalling playing. Like, everyone's a bit dodgy about what's going on, whereas everyone's relatively happy with what's going on at the back 4 at the minute. Keeper situation's up there a little bit, but at the same time, things are going all right for United at the minute.
They are. One of those reasons has been, like you mentioned him there, Paul Pogba. He's been on fine form, played well against Spurs, and also was unplayable against Roma. But he's helped as well by the fact he's finally got someone alongside him in midfield who's of a similar quality in Bruno Fernandes. Yep. Who has also been, like you say, had a little bit of a lull, but we've seen some recent performances from him. Those two complementing each other. You see Bruno in his last game got 2 goals, 2 assists. I mean, to be honest with you, we could have had Pogba up there. They both sort of had an outstanding performance. How reliant do you think we are on Bruno at the minute? Do you think we are shifting a little bit because Pogba steps up, that we're not overly reliant on him, or do you still think there's that element of if Bruno don't turn up, we don't turn up?
I think there is a little bit of that, but I think that when everyone else plays well, it gives Bruno the time and space. I think when you have Paul Pogba on the pitch, it drags people out of position. It means that Bruno's got the space. You saw Bruno popping up on the left-hand side and Pogba in the 10 against Roma, and then them switching over, kind of doing the reverse kind of roles. And I think that little bit of space that Pogba gives Bruno, and I think this is the one thing is why we need someone on the right, not just because of the balance and everything like that. It's just give the other lads a bit more space, because at the minute, you kind of stop United's left-hand side and that kind of stops everything. But I think with Pogba playing well, Bruno playing well, they both get a bit more space, both can express themselves, and you've seen there, Bruno getting on the score sheet, Pogba getting on the score sheet, both influencing the games. You need them both, and that's why Man City have been so good. It's not because if you stop De Bruyne, they're not going to play well, because you can do that. You've seen what United have been able to do to teams in the past, where you just man-mark someone out of a game and you win the game. You can't do that against the top teams because they have so many elements, and that's what United need to become. We've got the likes of Bruno last season, where you kind of stopped Bruno, you stopped us. if you have Paul Pogba in there as well, you can't really do that.
No, you can't. Another player as well who looks like he's committed his future to Manchester United. It's short-term futurish anyway, because he's 34, but another year of him. Yeah, exactly. Don't you understand? That's not how it works. Edinson Cavani, who he's been a bit up and down at times, but it seems recently like it's really clicked into gear for him. Played very well against Spurs. It was fantastic against Roma as well, and is in a good bit of form. You can see there four goals in his last 3 home games. Like I said earlier, looks like he's happy at United. I mean, how impressed have you been with him of late?
I have, and I think that the big thing, when he kind of came into the team and did well early on, like against Southampton and stuff, he was more of an impact sub. He was playing well as a sub.
It's a good shout.
Whereas in the past few weeks, he started the Tottenham game, got himself a goal and played very well. Started the Roma game, has done very well, and he's doing more from the start. I think we've needed him more in the last few weeks as well. Without Martial even in the squad, we've had to start Edinson Cavani, or you tried Mason in there, I don't think it's quite worked. You've had to start Cavani, but I think he's growing into it as a starter. I think his fitness is getting better. I think he had that little bit of a fitness issue. I think he was out for a couple of months as well. I think before he played for United, he hadn't played football for 7 months. I think Ollie was mentioning today. He's like, that's a long time off to not play at all. So I think he's getting back up.
That could be your career, that couldn't it, at that age? That could be like, do you know what I mean? I'm never going to get back to the levels that I was even close to, but he has. He's got back
to fitness. He's looking like he can play. I mean, he's not really tested him doing 90 minutes, back-to-back games for a while. But he's looking like he can at least play 90 minutes in one game, do a half an hour in the next kind of thing. I think we need to start him to win these kind of games, especially at the minute without Martial. I think he shows what we've been missing. He shows how it links up. The goal for Bruno, that just, someone as a number 9 just playing that pass around the corner. The goal where he's just got the rebound off Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It just shows that having someone who is a very, very good elite number 9 striker changes Manchester United.
No, it does. You're right, and we've not had that for a little while, like the out and out number 9. And obviously, Martial did a very good job there, and he is our number 9, if you will. But he's a different type of player, and you need someone like Edinson Cavani, and it's great to see. It seems so, like Bruno did, like you're saying about raising the levels around you. Edinson Cavani does that, and the link-up play between him, Paul Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes the other night was fantastic. It's what you want to see as a Manchester United fan. You don't just want to see, moments of individual brilliance, which we sometimes see. Well, not too. You never see too much of that, but sometimes you feel like we're a little bit over-reliant on that. But when you see players playing together, playing well as a unit, like, and I'm not saying that they're as good as, but like when we used to see Rooney, Ronaldo, and Tevez, you used to see that. It was like, wow. To see those link up, those 3 link up in Bruno, Pogba, and Cavani, it brings back those memories. With all that being said, who is your? Is this predicted or preferred? Because you and Joe confuse the fucking issue with me. See, bit of both. What does that mean? Right, like we used to have, right, in the old full-time Devils days, it was predicted 11, yeah? Who do you think's going to start? Right, and then him and Joe decided, well, actually, I want to do preferred 11. All right, so
should we bring it back? Should we bring back
who do you want to start? And then you do this, like, amalgamation of the 2 where it's, like, predicted but sort of preferred as well, which...
It's like my preferred 11, but with a little bit of realism that
Go
this
on,
is what
you can explain this to me
That's all
anyway,
it is. That's all it is that I've got my 11.
Go on.
Here it is.
Talk us through it and explain whether this is going to happen or whether you want it to happen or
Here's my predicted back 5, because I think it's going to happen. I've then got a preferred midfield. Anyway, so back 5, Henderson, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, and Luke Shaw. I think that's it sorted. I don't think anything's going to change unless there is an injury towards the end of the season.
I agree with that completely.
Unless he decides he's going to rotate players in the league, that's going to stay as it is. I've gone with McTominay and Pogba. Now, I've liked Paul Pogba a bit further forward. The only reason I've gone for this is that's the midfield that played against the Scousers in the FA Cup and beat them.
Oh, look at you, your knowledge.
Bit of research there.
Bit of research.
And also, I wanted to play Mason Greenwood because of his goal of the week, and I think he's earned himself a start against Liverpool. Same with Edinson Cavani. But I still can't bring myself to drop Marcus Rashford. I just think that he's still going to play. He's still going to at least do 70 minutes for Manchester United. And then Bruno, I think he's undroppable kind of thing. But that is my a little bit predicted. But again, I wouldn't be surprised to see McTominay and Fred in midfield. So that I don't know. It's a confusing
If that happens, the McFred as the term.
McFred.
Who do you think Ollie would drop?
What I'd like to see is Marcus get dropped. I think that Marcus needs a break. I don't think we need to play him. I think you just give him a couple of weeks. For as much as this is an important game, I think Pogba in the left-hand side has done okay. And I think that Mason deserves to start in a minute.
That's a startling understatement. Pogba in the left-hand side has done okay. That's like up there with Ronaldo Brown, with Rafael Varane. Not quite lived up to his expectations.
As a World Cup winner, Champions League winner 4 times.
Done all right, Paul Pogba on the left-hand side. Not too bad. Picks the odd pass out.
I still think that he might drop Cavani. He might give Cavani a rest, move Mason in there, and then put Marcus on the right-hand side. But I'd like to see Rashford drop out. I'd like to see that just to give him a bit of a break. But I've got a feeling that if it does happen, I think Cavani might get a rest.
I get where you're coming from now. You've explained it very well. And it's not...
Because I don't think I have.
It makes sense to me. I'm not the brightest back, as everyone knows, but I get that. Go to mine. Mine's predicted. I'd keep it simple. And it's very similar to yours, except I have put Fred in, and I've put him at the expense of Marcus Rashford. Now, you may say, Jay, you're off your fucking head. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer never drops Marcus Rashford. But I think Rashford's not fit. I think there's the signs there against Leeds and against Roma. Just didn't quite look himself. And I know he's come out and said he is. We know he's carrying this injury. We know he needs an operation. I know he was fantastic against the Scousers last time, though. But I still think that, because he needs his operation, he's still kind of a little bit of a knock. He hasn't quite looked himself for the last couple of weeks. I won't be surprised if Ollie goes, right, you know what, I can get away with this one by playing Pogba on the left, playing Greenwood on the right, and just giving Marcus that extra week. Because let's not forget as well, we have got a Europa League final coming up. That is going to be there. You don't want to wreck him so that he's not fit for that. And there's this danger when you're playing players that aren't fully fit that sooner or later they're going to make themselves worse. Marcus will always play. You'll always want to play. We know that. But I just feel that maybe Ollie might go, just sit this one out. But, I mean, it's paper fit margin. You don't know, do you? Because Ollie does like to play him. Marcus will always play whether he's got a niggle or not. And also, I don't know whether he has got that injury, what's made him perhaps underperform a little bit in the last couple of games. He might be fine. It might just be a bit of fatigue or whatever.
Do you think there's a little bit with this where we've moved Marcus around all this season in terms to kind of keep Anthony Martial on the team? There's a lot of that. There's a lot of people saying that he's playing on the right-hand side to keep him in the team. Do you think now you're moving him around to accommodate a Paul Pogba who's playing fantastically in that position? I think there's a bit of that at the minute.
Oh, no, you're right. It's a good point.
I think him playing on the right-hand side is not... The thing of him moving out to the right-hand side was done before to try and get Anthony Martial on the team because we were short of players and things weren't quite working. Whereas I think him moving onto the right-hand side now, which, again, I wouldn't be surprised if he does that at the weekend, if he played on the right. I think it's more the fact that Paul Pogba's been so good on that left-hand side, especially in the last game against Roma, the Tottenham game in as well. I think you're kind of moving him over there because you've got Paul Pogba in that position who, at this moment in time, is maybe doing a better job. Maybe because teams are kind of, especially against teams that sit back a little bit more.
The one thing with that is right, I mean, Pogba has been fantastic the last couple of games. Marcus has had a good season on the left-hand side.
I'm not doubting that.
And also, I think Marcus and Luke Shaw link up better than perhaps Pogba and Luke Shaw do. It's annoying because ideally, right, the one way to solve all of this was if you had an out-and-out CDM.
It is.
And then you could have 4-3-3. You could have Marcus on the left of the front three. You could have Pogba on the left of a midfield three. And that's perfect. Yep. And that with Shaw at left back, that's probably the strongest left-hand side in world football. Do you know what I mean?
Shout that one. It's not far off, though. It really isn't far off.
Shaw's one of the best left-backs in the league, if not the best left-back. Marcus Rashford's one of the best left-sided attackers in the league. And Paul Pogba's one of the best left-sided midfielders in the world.
Well, you saw it when Ollie first came in, and Marcus kind of played in that left-hand channel position. And you had Marcus there, Paul Pogba, you had Herrera and Matic was the midfield.
It was perfect.
And that balance bang on with Luke Shaw in there as well. It all just kind of clicked, and that was what was working. You've now lost Matic. I said it's almost like you've lost him as a player because he can't. I don't think you can trust him to do that role. And I think that is a massive thing. I think that's been let down by Ollie this season. I think that's kind of let Ollie down a bit. That's why we've seen McTominay and Fred so often, because I think he was thinking we can play Matic for a dozen games, 20 games from the start and play this kind of system where we can have Pogba, Rashford, Bruno, Marcus, or Mason and Cavani play, or even Martial. But he's not been able to do it at all this season. He's just not been able to trust him.
He's not. Moving on to all things Scouse. Looking at their recent form, I mean, they've had a weird season this season, haven't they? Like they've just absolutely fallen off a cliff at home. Well, they had, was it 6 losses on the spin or something ridiculous like the record? I can't remember what it was. I lost count, but it was a lot. Which is funny considering they were citing themselves as the greatest ever Premier League team in history not long ago. And you look at this form, I mean, this is garbage. They got beat off Real Madrid. There's no shame that they beat Villa, drew with Real Madrid, but you know they went out, so that doesn't count. Drew with Leeds, so did we, and then drew with Newcastle. Yeah, which they got away with as well with the Newcastle one, didn't they? With some questionable decisions, shall we say? I mean, it's weird. I almost wish this was at Anfield because. Well, they've lost 6.
Yeah, they've been so bad there.
Yeah. Thiago Alcantara, who I rate, has come in and he's won 1 league game at Anfield out of 9, I think it is.
He just doesn't fit there at all.
No.
He just doesn't.
It's weird because he's quality and yet... I mean, against Newcastle, I saw the scouts were going mad because Klopp, he was playing well, dominating the midfield. He was actually having his best game for him and Klopp took him off. And then Newcastle got a foothold in the game.
They're all over the place at the minute, aren't they? Not quite sure what you're going to get. They've obviously had the issue with Van Dijk, and that's affected.
Wow, what's happened to him?
Do you know, he got an injury at the start of the season.
Really?
Yeah.
Van Dijk got injured?
Yeah. He was picked for like bad tackle, mate.
Was
really
it?
bad.
Tell you what.
Someone
wants to make a promise to go and sort that out.
They should make a promise to sort it out. Maybe like a petition to get him banned.
Show and promise. Go and get that dinosaur armed, whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so... you can see there.
He got injured, yeah.
They're not in a greatest bit of fun, but this isn't a derby, but it has that derby element to it. You never know what can happen against the Scousers. You know what I mean? There's times when we've been flying and they've managed to beat us, and they've been flying and we've managed to beat them. So it does have that sort of feel to it.
And they've got a lot to play for. They've got, they're 4 points behind Chelsea at the minute. There's a good chance they could be 7 going into this game if Chelsea get there. Are Chelsea playing before us, Cam? Chelsea fan Cameron doesn't know what time Chelsea play this weekend.
He's only bothered about the Champions League now. We don't care about the league.
They could be 7 points behind Chelsea going into that game tomorrow at 5:30. So Chelsea could be 7 points ahead of Liverpool going into that game. They will because they're against Fulham. Apparently, this is all producer Cam's word. 7 points behind. They have to win this weekend, or that's 7 points with 5 games to go. They're not going to do that, are they? No, I think that, you're right. They have to win this week.
Massive for different reasons for both clubs. We obviously just postponing the inevitable and them trying to get into the top 4. If they are going to get any result or get anything out of this game, then no doubt Mohamed Salah's going to have a big say in it. Would you think?
Yeah, he's all right.
He is all right. He's a bit annoyingly all right. You can see this season, 29 goals, 4 assists. I mean, he's just bangs him in for joke, doesn't he? He's just one of those. He's ridiculous levels. He is very, very good. He's had a couple of good performances against us, but we've usually done okay with him. It's weird, isn't it? Because like Matteo Darmian and Ashley Young have marked him out of the game in the past.
I think it's one of them. Liverpool do well when teams come out and try and get very high line against them. They can get him behind. But if you do sit back, I think Salah has struggled against even Luke Shaw sitting there and defending and doing that job. Like you mentioned, Ashley Young and Darmian kind of just doing that job of just mark Mo Salah for this game, don't let him score. I think United, though, we're playing good enough football. We're going to go out a bit and try and beat these lots. We're not going to sit back and defend, I don't think. I think we're going to go out a bit and try and play a bit of football, which might leave a bit more space in behind. Hoping we score. It's one of them. Just, if you can keep Salah quiet, you're usually all right against them. You know, Firmino's not done much this season.
No, I don't.
Mane's had a shock. Mane's had a shocking season as well. Something like it's under 10 goals, something in the Premier League for Mane.
Not his normal numbers because he's been quite prolific since he went there.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, Roberto Firmino, I think, is the most overrated player in the world. But Mo Salah's definitely one to watch. In terms of head-to-heads, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because the last 5 meetings are actually Ollie and Klopp.
Yeah.
So this is not just the club's head-to-head; it's the managers as well. And you can see it's even Stevens, isn't it? Like 1 win apiece and 3 draws.
Yeah, we've done all right in them games. I think the 2 draws were frustrating. The 0-0 was when we had worse than Roma had this weekend, where we had everyone injured in the first. We have Mata, Herrera, Rashford.
Jesse came on and went off, didn't he?
Yeah.
And do you remember in that first one that you're talking about there, Rashford was hobbling around, and he had to play. We had no subs. And thank God he did, because if they'd have, I think if they'd have won that game, they probably would have won the league. So
Yeah.
There's that one, the 1-1 draw, which was that was really frustrating one. That was when they were on that run on it, and Marcus got the goal, and then
Lallana,
5 minutes, they got an equaliser. The 2-0 loss was when the knives were out for Ollie, just before, I think it was before the Burnley game when we lost as well, when everyone thought we were doomed. 0-0 at Anfield this season. We should have beaten, really, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we played better football than them.
And
then
as
the
everyone
FA
knows,
Cup was great.
Anfield's-
The FA Cup, we got it bang on. I'm hoping it's that kind of game. I think it'll probably be a little bit more cagey than that. I think both teams are going to sit back a little bit more than that game. I think both managers kind of made changes that went, look, let's play a bit more expressive football.
What's your favourite game against the Scousers? What's your favourite memory?
I think it's the John O'Shea one.
Is it the John O'Shea one?
That's one of my favourite ones. The John O'Shea one was quality.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any more that really...
For me...
Or one Massa. The Massa
Wanfield.
one. Wanfield was...
Wanfield's good. It's a bit bittersweet for me, Wanfield, because I was meant to go and I didn't, because we were having a baby and I was skint, and I was like, I just, like, the moral of the story is just always put football first. But the Berbatov hat-trick one I love, because we were winning and then they got it back to 2-2, and I felt sick. I felt genuine, because we've thrown it away. Gerrard did his thing, kissing the camera and all that. It was horrible. And then Demon Sour with the overhead kick. We've had some good results against them, though, and hopefully this will be the case this time round. Go on then, brother. Give us your score prediction.
2-1 United.
Oh, 2-1 United. I'd say that all day long. I'm going to go for a boring in terms of prediction, not in terms of score. I'm going to go for a repeater. Last time 3-2.
Going for it.
Yeah, I think there's goals in this game, and I know we've been all right defensively, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Salah or someone pops up, or maybe Firmino gets his annual goal.
I fancy them to score. That's what I think I fancy them to score at the weekend for some odd reasons. I think they're going to go for it a bit, but if we get going, we're playing better football than them. So
we are playing better football. There's a big protest, isn't there, before the game?
There is 2 o'clock at Old Trafford.
2 o'clock at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
we're going to be down there. It's obviously, the European Super League has sort of led to this, but it's been coming for years with the Glazers. We're not happy. We want a say in the running of our football club. There's a fans forum. We did a video about that. I did a video about it. Check it out. So we are going to be down there before the game from 2 o'clock onwards, voicing our opposition to these owners, asking for a say in the running of our football club. And then we'll be able to watch along as well, won't we? We're doing everything, man. We're covering it all.
Everything.
Don't worry.
And if you've not already, petition is on our Twitter, or it's on everyone's social media.
I think it's on Twitter, yeah. I think at the time of recording, we're about 1,000 signatures away, so it's probably already reached it. But just keep going.
Yeah, just
if
keep
you've not
going.
signed it, you see, just sign it. There's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, we'll be here for all the good stuff this weekend. Hopefully, the good stuff this weekend, but covering the protest, covering the game, and the post-match reaction as well. Baggers, where can people find you? Where can my in-laws find you?
Baggers_Alex.
They probably found you already and tried to add you.
All social medias, Instagram, Twitter. That's it. Nothing. Not all social medias. Just those 2. That's it. Baggers_Alex.
My in-laws love Alex Baggers. They always go on about him. They only watch this channel when he's on.
Right.
Can't blame him. You know where to find me on JMotty on all these socials as well. Don't forget as well to hit like, share, and subscribe. And if you're not doing, go and check out the members section. We'll be putting some new content up there as well soon. That's been Alex Baggers. I've been JMotty. This has been the Liverpool preview. Thanks for watching.